Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more gripping true crime stories just like this. At first, no one questioned him. He was calm, helpful, always available when police called. He was the one who found the body, the one who dialed 911, the one who answered every question without hesitation. In fact, investigators trusted him more than anyone else. But then, one detail didn't fit, and when that detail was pulled apart, the entire case turned inside out. Because the most dangerous suspect isn't always the one who runs. Sometimes, it's the one who stays. This is the story of how a key witness slowly became the center of suspicion. Not through a confession, not through panic, but through patience, timelines, and questions that refused to go away. It's a reminder that in criminal investigations, proximity can be more powerful than motive, and that truth often hides behind cooperation. When police arrived at the scene, he was already there. Standing just outside the door, hands visible, voice steady. He explained everything clearly. What time he arrived, what he saw, what he didn't touch. He knew the victim well, worked closely with them for years, knew their routine, knew their habits. Investigators noted it as an advantage. Familiarity meant context, and context speeds up investigations. He handed over his phone willingly, gave passwords, agreed to interviews, no resistance, no hesitation. To police, he didn't look like a suspect. He looked like an ally. Very quickly, attention shifted away from him. Another name surfaced, someone with a motive, a strained relationship, a recent argument. That person became the focus. Witness statements were shaped around that narrative. Evidence was interpreted through that lens. And our witness, he faded into the background. He was interviewed again, but only to confirm timelines, to fill in gaps. Every time, he was consistent. That consistency built trust, but consistency can also hide something else. Preparation. Days into the investigation, a detective noticed something small. In every interview, the witness described the scene with unusual precision, not just what he saw, but where things were. The position of a chair, the placement of a lamp, the exact location of an object police hadn't publicly mentioned. At first, it was dismissed. He was close to the victim. He'd been there often. But then another detail emerged. During his very first interview, before officers revealed anything, he mentioned how he entered the house. I used the spare key under the back porch light. That detail wasn't in the press. Wasn't in reports. Had never been released. Only investigators knew. And now so did he. When questioned about it later, he didn't panic. He smiled slightly. I assumed that's where it would be, he said. Assumed, but assumptions don't give exact locations. They don't specify left or right, hidden or visible. They don't match reality perfectly. The detective made a note. Still, one detail wasn't enough to flip the case. Not yet. The case continued forward. The main suspect was arrested. Charges were prepared. But a second detective began quietly rechecking timelines. Phone records, security footage, digital logs. That's when something appeared, a Wi-Fi connection. Late at night hours after the witness said he left the area, his phone had connected to the victim's home network at a time that mattered. When asked, the witness didn't change his story. It must have connected automatically earlier, but digital records don't work that way. New authentication meant presence, and presence meant opportunity. Traffic cameras filled in another gap. A car entering the neighborhood late at night. The license plate was clear. It wasn't the main suspect's vehicle, it was the witness's. The timestamps matched the Wi-Fi log almost perfectly. Still, the witness didn't break. He said he couldn't remember, said he might have driven by, said nothing unusual happened. But memory gaps don't explain digital footprints. And digital footprints don't lie. Then investigators uncovered something else. Financial records, small transfers over time. Amounts low enough to avoid alarms. All approved by the witness. The victim had recently discovered them. Emails showed confrontation, deadlines, threats of termination, mentions of legal action. The witness had been under pressure, serious pressure, and it happened just days before the crime. The motive that once belonged to someone else. Quietly changed owners. Police didn't arrest him immediately. They watched, they listened, they re-interviewed him this time differently. They let him talk, and talk, and talk, because people who lie often reveal themselves not through what they say, but through what they repeat. He corrected officers too often, clarified details no one asked about, anticipated questions before they were spoken. He was still calm, still polite, still cooperative. But now, everything he said sounded rehearsed. In the final interview, detectives laid everything out: the Wi-Fi log, the traffic footage, the financial records, the spare key. They asked one final question. If you weren't there that night, how do you explain all of this? For the first time, the witness didn't answer immediately. He looked down, then at the table, then back up. "I don't know," he said. That was it. No explanation. No clarification. Just silence, and silence, in that moment, was louder than any confession. Charges against the original suspect were dropped, publicly, quietly. The case changed direction. The man who once stood beside investigators now sat across from them. The witness had become the prime suspect. Not because he panicked, not because he ran, but because he stayed close to close. Most people think criminals reveal themselves through mistakes. A slip of the tongue, a breakdown, a confession, but sometimes the truth emerges another way, through patience, through timelines, through details that don't belong to witnesses. The most dangerous position in an investigation isn't always suspect number one. Sometimes it's witness number 0, the person who sees everything, knows everything, and says just enough, because when the truth finally surfaces, it doesn't ask who you helped, it asks where you were, and why you knew what you knew. Comment if you believe the truth can be hidden in plain sight. Subscribe for more shocking true crime stories that defy belief. Like, share, and watch the full story in our latest video.